Hello, good morning, and welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory, and we get together here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific to hang out, do some drawing, have some fun, regale each other with anecdotes and dad jokes and the like. Hey, that rhymes. I am joined today, as often, by JJ.
Hello. I was going to say good morning, but not every. I'm seeing so many faces and places, so it's good Thursday to you.
It's true, yes. We have various people from around the world here. Ilona in dry London. Nothing like dry London.
Yeah, that sounds like a pleasurable
That sounds
experience.
nice.
Go walk around.
But it's probably almost dinner time there, so yes. Clola, is that it? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Clola. We just want to say condolences for the loss of your aunt, though 99 years is a good run. So,
Wow.
So I'm sure she had a fantastic life, but I'm sure you're going to miss her. And I'm glad that we can be here to be together and to help you make some art to feel better about it. Leslie, welcome back to Sketchbook School. Binging and joining in again. That's great. I'm glad to see you back, and I hope that you have a lot of fun. Hafiz is here from Indonesia, and it's great to see you all here. So, Vladislav from Ukraine, I hope that you're safe there, and Azar in Oman. Man, we've really got a diverse group here today.
Isn't it wonderful?
It's so nice.
It's just the best.
Yes.
It is.
And Shane is finally back here from Bellevue. Bellevue, Pennsylvania, that is, not Bellevue. What New Yorkers think of as Bellevue. Heather's mom was concerned about you, JJ.
Thank you. I'm better, yes.
She is better. She's not even better. She's even better. She's the new and improved JJ.
Back in action.
So good. So I just wanted to talk briefly. First of all, I want to say what an incredible group of postmen.
I mean, wow.
JJ and I had, as usual, had some discussion about whether this is a good assignment. But this proves, as I've always suspected, that people love drawing guys with beards. And so yeah, we plan to do that. That'll be probably a regular thing, at least once a month, if not more often. I may even grow a beard, so you can draw me.
I mean, I think we do already tackle it more often than once a month, so it's all tracking.
I might create a whole separate show called Draw Beards with Me that JJ will not be part of. So yes, we had lots of fantastic postmen and just the range of it. Now I have to be honest, I'll talk about it a bit when we come back in a second, but I had some challenges with the postman, and I'm hoping to rectify them today.
You know, it's awfully hard to do a drawing on camera, live, juggling your tech, juggling a bunch of things.
I've been doing it every week for 5 years.
But I'm just giving you credit where credit is due.
Okay, but that's not really what it was about, though. I think what happened to me was overthink.
I think you went too fast, if I must be honest.
I know you were saying that while we were doing it. There was just a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff to deal with, a lot of elements, and I didn't think it through. I'm big on just like jumping in and doing it.
Yeah.
I believe that's kind of
triple Virgo.
No, I like to just react and spontaneously do stuff. But this was juggling 15 balls, 11 chainsaws, and a couple of puppies. It was just too much stuff going on, and so I didn't feel like I got in the groove. And I think that that's really what I want to do today. Today I want to get in the groove. But before I do, I want to talk about tomorrow, which is when your illustrated life finally begins. I know a lot of you have signed up, took advantage of the early bird special, heard the news about the course, wanted to jump in tomorrow. Actually, not even tomorrow. Tonight at midnight, right?
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I think it's tonight. If you wanted to stay up and wait for the ball to drop, it will happen at midnight tonight Pacific time. I'm pretty sure. But in any case, when you wake up tomorrow, the class will be there. And
the entire class will be there.
The entire class, yes. I just gave you a couple of little videos to kind of think about, but now it's going to be boom. And you're not. Let me just say, you're not going to get through this class tomorrow. Yes.
It's so much.
Linda says, I think the course sold out the Strathmore. It's true. I recommended this Strathmore mixed media thing, and we may have put a run on it. So yes, Wilma's excited. It's going to be. I think it's going to be really fun because I don't know. I shared on my Tuesday Studio Notebook newsletter. I shared a lesson with subscribers to that, and it's really the first people who've seen anything of it, right?
Yeah.
Except for JJ and maybe a couple people at Sketchbook School, nobody's really seen this class. And I'll be honest,
we've had doubts along the way. We've had legit, straight up ice in the veins.
Yeah, just don't know. Just don't know what it's like.
And it's different. It's different than what we've ever done before. So always there's a feeling of. Are people going to have expectations, and are we going to meet them? And
well, they're going to have expectations.
Yeah, so,
but I think one of the expectations somebody wrote to me about, which really resonated with me, was she said, I was afraid of this. I was afraid that taking on a memoir, doing the whole thing, it just seemed so much. And then when she saw this one lesson that I shared, she had a deep sigh of relief, and she said, I can do this. I can do this. And I think that that's really what I want people to feel is you know what, you can do this, and we're going to do it step by step by step. And then you'll have at least a 64-page Strathmore, if you can find one, sketchbook full of stories from your life. And just, it'll help you to think. I don't know.
I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Let's not. But it's going
to be a challenge, but it's going to be fun. And I think it's eminently doable by anybody.
I agree.
I really think so. So, yes, Frugal RV Gal is ready for it. It's going to be.
It's going to be great.
Leslie says, I really want to take the new course, but most of my art supplies are at home, so I'll have to catch up later in the summer. Fair enough. Honestly, you could start thinking about it. There's a lot to think about. Gathering up your stories, thinking about what are the things you want to go through. There's also a lot of things that you can do just with writing. If you're intimidated by the idea of illustrated, you can do a lot of this with writing, and I even show you how you can do it with stick figures. So don't worry, it's really up to you.
We could talk about this for the entirety of the
Draw With Me
hour.
But I'm just excited because it's finally happening, and we've been kind of on tenterhooks for a really long time about it. So anyway, if you want to sign up for it, you can go to sketchbook.tiny.us/life, or you can just go to the Sketchbook School website, sign up for it, and join us, or not, or don't do it now. It's going to be available. I just think if you want to start it with a bunch of other people who are also going to be doing it, which is part of the fun of it, goes back to the original days 10 years ago at Sketchbook School, where we would drop a course and everybody would be working on it. And now we have the schoolyard. Anyway, so let's get on with it, shall we? All right, so going back to what I was saying before. So talking about that postman, it was a complex situation. A lot of stuff was going on. And I've been thinking about it all week because I've been doing other kinds of drawing. And I realized what I want to do today, and maybe you're with me, is I just want to do a nice detailed drawing. I just want to have a subject that you can dig your teeth into, and I want to spend some time on it. I also, to make it a little bit more interesting, the approach that I want to have today is something we haven't done in a while, which is to take something complicated and spend 20 minutes drawing it. 20 minutes, however you want to draw it, but it's a motorcycle, so it has a lot of bits to it. And then I want to do the same drawing again in 5 minutes. Then I want to do the same drawing again in 2 minutes. And I want to do the same drawing again in 30 seconds. So you can do it all on the same page,
Have we done this before?
We've done it before. I remember we once did it with a bouquet of flowers that turned out really nicely. I think we even once did it with a Vermeer. So it's a really interesting thing because what the process is basically you spend a lot of time, you're learning about it, you're getting all the details, but then when you have to do it in 5 minutes, you can't look at it with quite the same lens. And certainly when you get down to 2 minutes and then 30 seconds, boom. I mean, I remember we did it with a car once at the beginning of the pandemic, and we went from 15 minutes to 15 seconds, I think. But people did it. People were able to do it. So
you can do it too.
Yes. Joey remembers that we did it with cars. So, all right. So here we go.
So to stretch. Stretching.
Yeah, well, but also I think what I want to do is with a 20-minute one, let's spend some time thinking about it, looking at it, not just plunging in, But then later on, you might want to plunge in. So it's up to you how you want to approach this. It's let's start. I'm going to start the 20-minute timer, and we're just going to start doing it. So figure out a pen. I'm going to be using this. It's an O2, which is a pretty fine pen because there's a lot of detail in this thing. And yeah. Gina asks, have I done it in reverse? Yes, you can do it in reverse, but I think you're afraid when you do the first one. Whereas when you have the confidence of having done it, and it's like, I know this, you can simplify it. When you do it the other way around, it can be so daunting, you don't know where to go. So we could certainly try it once that way.
So Heather's asking how many total so she can plan her
Okay,
page.
so there are going to be 4 total. You may want to do them the same scale. You may want to do them, just do the 20-minute one and fill a whole page, up to you. But I would say, yes, you could probably fit them all in one page. I don't know that I will, but we'll see. See how it goes. All right, here we go, 20 minutes, and here we are. This is our motorcycle. It is, just if you're interested, it is a 1942 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead.
Cute.
It's a cute name.
It's got a lot going on.
It's an iconic one. So,
and you picked this topic because of the complexity, right? Like,
yes. I just wanted to draw something. Look at how all the bits there are. So when I'm looking at this thing, right in the very middle of it, there's this silver circular thing. I'm not sure what that is exactly. Do you know what that is? You don't know anything about motorcycles, do you?
I mean, when you said you were going to do motorcycles, my feeling was I can help you with nothing.
Okay.
Not at all.
So I'm looking at this circular thing, whatever the hell it is. Maybe one of you guys knows. And it is almost dead center in the middle of the motorcycle. If you measure above it to the top of, say, the handlebars, then you measure below it to the bottom of to the ground, it's almost exactly the center. So that's helpful. And then if you measure from the front of that circle all the way to the front of the tire, and then you measure it from the back, it's almost literally exactly the same. So that's going to be a helpful anchor for us. So I'm going to start by drawing that thing. And it's a circle, so I know how to draw those. So I'm going to draw that circle, and I'm going to make it about that big. And, we can get into like doing the shiny bits on it, but for now I'm just going to do that circle, and then I'm going to draw the things around it. So I'm going to draw this sort of whatever it is. I mean, that's another thing that I like about this is I don't know what the hell I'm drawing. So it's different than drawing a face. It's like you don't know what these bits are. So just do your best, figure it out. And
try not to think of it as the whole. Just think of it as
just draw each bit. Yeah, exactly. So draw this bit. Now I'm drawing this kind of tube thing. It has like a little kind of connector in there, and then the tube comes down below.
All right. So Jennifer Kankelfritz has consulted her motorhead husband, and he says it's an air cleaner.
Air cleaner. There you go.
Sweet.
I knew it.
Dan Bolton says looks like the oil cooler. Either way.
See, it's typical. Mansplainers starting to conflict with each other.
It's not mansplaining.
Okay,
we asked for assistance.
It's true. So, yeah, I feel like a little bit less of a man because I don't know these things. But
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be unkind to you, but
you can't help it.
You should not. It should be really illegal. You could not obtain a motorcycling license. That would be unfair to everyone.
Well, we can tell the story of my. So I had a brief period where I was, in fact, a motorcyclist.
I think it was a scooterist.
It was technically a motorcycle, I think. It wasn't a scooter.
It was a scooter.
No, it was not.
It was like a Vespa thing, wasn't it?
Well, no, but
it was
sat
like a mini bike.
You sat astride it. Yes, so it was a motorcycle. So anyway, so now I've drawn all these little bits around it. Should I go smaller? Yeah, I'm going to go smaller there. I mean, closer. All right, so now here's a thing that's pretty important, which is, and I know what this is, it's the gas tank. But you see, like, if we look at where the back of the gas tank is, it's just kind of at the back of the circle. And we look at the front of the gas tank, it's sort of at the beginning of this sort of thing here that we just constructed. So now, so I kind of know how long that thing is, and then I can make a general sort of approximation of it's sort of complicated, but you don't have to get it perfect. It's okay. There's no doubt that this is going to look like a motorcycle in some way when you're done.
I mean, it's got a lot of cool reflection.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing I love to draw. I've drawn like car engines where you just open the hood of the car and just spend like hours drawing every bits. I remember once I had a car that needed some work done, and so I dropped it off, and then I just kind of hung around the garage, which, as you can imagine, I'm sure they loved.
You were probably drawing. You probably had
and
your sketchbook.
I drew the whole thing. I drew like some really complex stuff in the. I don't even know what the hell it was that I was drawing, but it was just so much fun because, again, it's just connecting all these different bits, and so now there's this sort of another kind of pipe that comes down here, black pipe. Again, has a little connector, and then it comes down again. Yeah, I'm already starting to feel like my proportions are off. I'm just going to remeasure that circular thing, the air cleaner or whatever it is, and I'm not terribly off. It's possible that this is a bit small, so I'm just going to kind of fake it and make it look a little bit bigger. But so how much time do we have left?
15 minutes.
All right, so
Yeah.
It's possible I won't be able to.
1/4 of the way through.
It's possible we won't get the whole thing done.
Well, you could just speed up parts of it, right? Do this part intricately and then free form like the tires.
Yes, that's a good point. I could just say, the interesting detailed bits were all these parts of the engine. And it doesn't matter if you don't finish it because you could always come back and spend some more time on it if you wanted to. The principal idea is really when we're drawing this kind of, and we have this kind of time allotted, we can get into every single detail down here.
I mean, you could spend all day on this thing.
Totally, right? We drew bicycles a couple weeks ago, and they're sort of like this, but they don't have this level of complexity. When you do a bicycle, at least I know sort of what the parts are. That's a pedal, that's a chain, those are the gears. But this thing, I don't know what the hell this thing is. But I wish I did. I fancy myself the kind of guy who drives a motorcycle.
Oh, jeez.
When I'm single again, that's certainly something that I will consider.
If you rode a motorcycle, I would be single again. That's for sure.
There are women who like motorcycles.
I don't mind. I like motorcycles. I don't like you on a motorcycle.
It's true. I kicked over a cup of tea this morning while getting out of the hot tub. So I don't know that I have the coordination that it takes to operate a motor vehicle like this.
I'm going to say
I have a hard enough time taking the subway.
You did, yeah. There were concerns present for that as well.
Yes. So anyway,
I try to be nice, but I always say, Danny can drive, but he shouldn't.
What? I've never ever had any.
Oh my gosh! Don't jinx yourself.
The only time
yourself.
The only time I had trouble with the law on a vehicle was on a bicycle.
Yeah, that's true. That went really poorly for you.
Yeah. So, that's why I'm thinking. Maybe get a nice couple tattoos, grow a nice stash. All right, so now I'm down in here into the mud guard and the fender, and then I've got these things coming down here. So again, the trick is going to be, see, at this angle is tough because I've gotten it too. It's not extreme enough. These kinds of long lines can get you into trouble.
Gina's contributing. Those are forks.
That's true. These forks, whatever the fork they are, I'm struggling with getting the angle right. Because that's one thing, is the kind of approach that I'm taking to drawing this isn't the only way of doing this. What I'm doing is I am drawing each individual component, and then I'm hoping that they're all going to fit together, But the danger in that is if you make one little error and you have one angle that's kind of off, and then you add to another angle, and sure enough, in time, they add up and you end up with something kind of wonky. But again, I don't care. What I like about doing this is these individual stages. Just saying, okay, I can draw this little thing. And I don't even really think about, oh yeah, this is the handlebars here. This is the headlamp.
What year is this bike from? Do you know?
1942.
I was going to say, it looks pretty vintagey.
1942, though. I mean, think about it. That's like the war was going on, and these guys came out with this thing, which is a classic, the knucklehead.
They're expensive, right?
Nowadays?
Well, any day. Isn't it hardly an expensive premium kind of thing?
I have no idea. I'll tell you when I buy mine.
You'll have to consider your alimony payments.
It's true. And my health insurance. Here in Arizona, for some mysterious reason, you don't have to wear a helmet.
Well, it's not mysterious.
Well, it's mysterious if you understand the human anatomy and how it's affected by extremely fast interactions with tarmac.
And other cars, unfortunately. People here in Phoenix, where we live, are really aggressive drivers. I mean, honestly, it's a road rage kind of place, and people.
Well, you should know.
I mean, I don't feel I drive aggressively.
No, but you rage.
I definitely get upset at some of the antics that I see when I'm out there on the roads.
I'm looking back at this for the first time. It's actually coming along quite well. Bits are coming together. Well, because I know, and I'm not expressing to you exactly, but I know every time I'm like, that was slightly off. That was kind of wrong. I didn't really pay attention there. I'm talking too much and I'm not drawing enough. But then when you step back and go, despite all that, it's pretty good. Now, would a Harley collector look at this drawing and go, hold on a second, you left out the double flange node. You left up the butterfly thingamabob. You didn't include the hatch connective, the D74J that connects to the thingamabob. Yeah. Well. Right, now here is the big challenge, which is drawing the circular wheel. Did I put the bottom of it correctly? I did. I think I did that right. All right. One of the hard things about drawing tires is you draw a circle and then you want to make it three-dimensional. So what you do is you just think of it as like a series of overlapping circles.
I don't think you're going to be able to get those like tread zigzags in there, which I was finding visually pretty cool looking.
Yeah, mine is kind of stripped, and I'm certainly not going to be able to deal
Bold tires.
Yeah, exactly. Mine's been driven a lot since 1942, but I'm not going to be able to deal with all those spokes. Forget it. No spokes. All right, so now I'm going to the other end, and
so you have roughly 7.5 minutes.
It's possible I could get it done,
but you don't have to.
No, but I would certainly feel better about myself if I did. But what I can do is I could just focus on larger shapes, and then if I have time, come in and do the details. This is a beautiful machine, though. Just think of how much. I mean, imagine it was probably like a lot of hand assembly, at least, building this thing. So it should be expensive. I mean, this thing is, how old is it? 1942?
I think that's what you said.
Yeah, so how old would that make it? It's 80 years old.
Yeah.
Sure looks good. Which I look at.
I can't say it looks comfortable.
No? Yeah, I think these kinds of things are bare to drive.
I mean, I think someone else echoed a thought I was having in my head when you were pondering the air cooler is like that whole area looks like it's going to burn your leg, singe your leg. I guess that's why you wear those leather pants. But it just looks
That's not
like
the only reason you wear them, though.
awful lot of things that can hurt you.
I'm thinking I might start my motorcycle life by buying the leather pants.
Okay, can we just talk about the fact that there's been, I don't know, I've seen it in 2 or 3 places lately, videos of Lenny Kravitz working out at the gym in his leather pants.
Yeah, that's why I was going to buy
mad
them.
respect for that. He is in character 100% of the time, but he's like literally doing like deadlifts.
With sunglasses on. And I'm thinking, frankly, I need to get some new stuff for the gym. Maybe that's my look.
Yeah, try it.
I think I could get thrown out of the gym for that. I'll post some videos on Instagram of me working out in my leather trousers. And barefoot too, right? Or was he wearing like engineer boots?
I honestly, I was so distracted by the pants, but it was like literally this is what this man wears to the gym. He is not breaking character ever.
But he's also like, he's like in his 50s at least, if not 60, right?
I mean, he's been a major star for many decades. Yeah. Well, I think he's hugely talented, but yeah, that just watching him like powerlifting in those leather pants, and not like ironically, like this is how he does.
This is how he does.
Pretty cool. He's a legend.
They're probably like, Lenny, we found that video of you wearing Bermudas and flip-flops.
It's never done it.
And
it's never happened. You could not find such a video because it has never occurred.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. It's hard sustaining a celebrity image, you know. Speaking personally,
it requires a lot of commitment, as Lenny has demonstrated.
All right, so now I'm doing this back. What do you think about these little colored light things at the back?
I was wondering, it's that part of the bag, or is that like a reflector?
The bag is very nice. Look, it's like crocodile or something.
Yeah, that's. I mean, again, I think this is a pricey. Now you're sort of behind the reference.
Oh, sorry, this is not a factory option. I don't think.
What do they call it? There's a word for this kind of bag.
A valise.
Pannier.
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 It's not really a pannier, though, is it? If it was on a bicycle, I guess it is. Sort of.
I mean, I don't know. What would you? It's like a bag that's hooked onto your bike.
What do you think is in there? Like a bottle of Jack Daniels, a handgun, and
I think wrenches, probably like burn ointments,
emergency contacts,
the last will and testament. Chris Seidel, it's a saddlebag.
Saddlebag, yes, duh. Yeah, pannier kind of crept into the vocabulary, but clearly,
I wasn't. I wasn't convinced I was right.
That is pretentious.
Yeah, Polenta Pot said the saddlebag is full of art supplies, obviously.
Yes. Mine would be.
And lunch.
Art supplies and
lunch. It would definitely have
yes.
PB&J.
Possibly like
some chippers.
Maybe a Subway footlong.
Yeah, a number of people have throughout this chat have mentioned that they or someone they know has been gravely injured by a motorcycle. These are dangerous, dangerous things. I stand by my mandate that you not operate one.
But I want to go on mandates with other men driving down a highway.
Zing!
There you go.
Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs.
Remember that
indeed.
film?
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
Now, look, Lenny Kravitz can do a lot of things, but I bet he could knock this out in exactly 20 minutes. Or maybe he could.
He's pretty talented.
Does he draw? I have no idea.
he's an artistic guy, so I imagine he probably.
Well, fine. Why don't you just run off with him then on his motorcycle? I don't even know if he has a motorcycle, but Prince had one in Purple Rain, right?
Yeah, not an old classic like this.
Yeah. It was a Harley Fat Boy, I think.
Was it?
Pretty sure. It's purple.
I remember its big windshield.
Yeah, which is a little naff.
Well, he lived in Minnesota, right? So you've probably got a lot of like.
Yeah, it's true. You think of motorcycles.
Snow and ice.
In the movies, motorcycles are usually California kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Whew. This is coming along. I think I've got almost all the bits. It's a little stunted. The back wheel. Is that right?
I'm impressed.
I am too. But this is what I wanted to do. I didn't put in the kickstand. Boy.
And guess what? You're not gonna.
Just did it. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Landed the plane.
All right, so there we go. That's what happens when you spend 20 minutes doing this. Are you ready to do it in?
Do you need to breathe? I mean,
to
that
have
was
some coffee.
intense. I just felt like, I don't know what the word is. A sense of relief flood my entire system.
Yeah, it's a little wonky, but it's.
I think it looks super cool.
Yeah, but see, this is because we've been talking about this week, you and I, JJ, about this particular drawing, and I explained this. I wanted to draw a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you
Chris says it was a
had a
Kawasaki.
hankering.
Yeah, Kawasaki that Prince rode. Yeah. Jennifer says it was a 1979 Honda. Right.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Harley. I mean, his character, at least in that film, was sort of, I mean, he was living with his parents, right? So it was a Harley. I mean, that's a bad choice. If you're living with your parents, if you're driving a Harley, you should spend some rent. Get the rent. My words are not coming easily at this moment.
I know, that's your whole job. So, a campaigner suggests the term donor cycle. I guess I've.
Oof.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
I know.
All right.
Okay, so what's up next?
Deep breath,
Deep
and then we're going to do this.
breathing.
We're going to do it in 5.
Stretching.
So I'm going to try. So should I try and do it on the same page?
Oh, you got to do it on the same page.
Yeah. So this is in the middle. You'll do the 5 here.
All right, refresh my memory. So the second.
So now we're going to do a 5, then we're going to do a 2, and then we're going to do 30 seconds.
And is it the same reference?
Same exact thing.
Okay. Woo!
And I just want to get all set up because
5 minutos.
Because when it starts in 5 minutes, that's it. There's no stopping. There's no waiting. There's no whining.
I might be crying.
There will be crying. So think about it. We've just spent 20 minutes looking at this thing. Now I want you to spend 10 seconds before we jump into it thinking, how are you going to do this? Are you going to do it the same way? Are we going to start in the middle? Maybe, but maybe we're going to like suggest things rather than.
I mean, are you going to start in the middle? Tell, reveal all.
I might start with the gas tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Here
Timer's
we go.
up.
5 minutes. Bing. All right. There's the bike is back. Yeah. So I'm doing this, and my strategy is kind of going to be to.
I mean, you're not going to do all the complicated bits, right? You're just going to do the big shapes.
I'm going to do the big shapes, and then we'll see how much time there is to do the complicated bits.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to have to come up with some sort of a shorthand for doing the complicated bits because you do need to have some indication that they're there. And a lot of times I find that I like these middle drawings better. Sometimes I even really like the shortest ones better.
Well, you're out of your head when you're doing those, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, do you think it's like you've accumulated muscle memory in that short amount of time?
It's possible. I mean, I'm not investigating it as much. I don't need to because I sort of know what the main bits are, but I don't know. I don't want to get too cocky here because it's still really complicated. Okay, so now I'm finally drawing that circular thing.
The air cooler.
The air cooler. Isn't the air cool enough when you're riding a motorcycle?
No, that Harley hog heats up hardcore. That's, again, the lake burner.
The 1942 leg burner.
A classic.
It is a classic. Also got to make sure that this drawing doesn't collide with the other one.
Well, that's okay if it does, right?
Possibly. It'd be cooler if it didn't.
I mean, you're kind of behind the reference again.
Thank you. You know what would go really well with this drawing, though? A guy with a beard. In fact, I think actually in Creative License, I did a page where I did a motorcycle and I drew a guy with a beard. Like a Harley guy.
You did?
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Shocked.
How much time do I have left? 2.5 minutes.
2.5.
All right. Interesting. I'm just noticing that these forks are behind the hub, which throws me off a bit because I thought that was the center of the wheel, but it's not. Oh. Yeah, cock that up a bit.
Yeah, this I think proportions are out the window in the 5-minute version.
Probably.
That's okay.
That's what happens when you rush. But this is a good lesson, which is when you do a bad drawing, a lot of times it's because you rushed. You know, so if you slow down, maybe you would get all those bits right.
But it's also like, say you're out on the street doing urban sketching and you want to capture something, like, you got to go fast, right?
Yeah.
So you can do it.
Just got to improvise.
It looks awesome.
You said you think the proportions. I can't even.
But I don't think you. I don't think you can focus on it. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
can't.
you might get it because you have a little muscle memory from the previous drawing.
Right.
But I think to actually take out of your precious 5 minutes, any amount of time to be measuring.
It's true, and I'm also
it's the equivalent of like driving a Harley while you live with your parents.
It's also I'm just not looking at how all these bits connect, and I'm just sort of approximating what they are. It doesn't really seem to matter that much, honestly. Most people looking at this wouldn't understand whether you got all the bits right anyway, so don't worry about that.
I mean, it does feel a little less like a Harley and a little more like a scooter.
Oh, really? All right, time's up. Yeah. It's definitely not as interesting a drawing. The other one is more interesting, more stuff to look at. But, you know, you don't always, sometimes if you only have 5 minutes to make a drawing, it's not the end of the world if it isn't super interesting, but it'll function as a drawing of a motorcycle. All right.
Breathe. Yeah, Chris, wow, that was tough. That was tough. I'm glad I didn't do it. I'll be honest. I sat here singing Penny Lane in my head.
All right, Penny. So I think when I look at this overall page, I'm just trying to figure out where, like, I might write the thing there, and then I might do the 2-minute here, and I might do the 30 down here. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is a fast-moving motorcycle. Are we ready?
Oh,
2 minutes.
are we ready? Lordy Lou.
1, 2, 3.
You're kind of behind the reference.
Tell me when we get to a minute.
Okay.
It's a minute.
Yep. Woof. Now let me ask a question.
Oh, please.
Because it feels like you could have chosen a fatter pen.
I know.
Would that have helped?
You know what happened? I did a smaller drawing instead.
Yeah, you did. That's true.
So I think that that's the difference is if I thought about even like, I could use a brush pen, but no. I think what I'm doing is I'm building on the stuff that I've learned. So I'm kind of trying to draw it the same way, but because it's smaller, because I can't get all the details in it, it's just easier to do it smaller.
Hafiz is asking, what's the purpose of this drawing exercise?
I want to try and fill 45 minutes to an hour of a show every Thursday. No. The purpose of this is to think about the different ways in which you see. So when you look at something long and carefully and you work on it detail by detail, your brain functions in a certain way. You notice that I could talk endlessly while we were doing the 20-minute one. I couldn't talk at all when I did the 2-minute one. It's because everything in my conscious brain is going into trying to do this thing. So I'm super concentrated. But I think what ends up happening is and you'll see when we've done the last one, is you look at all the different ones we've done, the different lengths, and you think, stylistically, where am I coming out on this? Like, I sometimes feel like doing a really detailed drawing, but sometimes I want to be able to do something that's more expressive, loose. I said that I was thinking a lot when I did the 2-minute one. In a way, I wasn't really thinking that much. I was kind of just going into a flow and just taking that knowledge that I had and doing it in a compressed way. So that's really what it is. It's kind of like as I'm a writer, so when I write a long essay, then I'll go back in and I'll rewrite it and I'll shorten it and shorten it. And when I do, I'm determining what's important, what's essential, what are the key parts of this, and what's the stuff that I could get rid of. And so in a way, this is a way of editing through time. You could also do it, you could theoretically erase parts of it if you draw this in pencil, and you could just get down to the parts of it. But if you think about a caricature is, here's a famous person. I could do a photorealistic drawing of them, but also a really great caricaturist can do like 3 lines, and there's the person, and you go, that's totally that person. So it's getting your brain to think these different ways, that there's different ways of drawing, different ways to think about looking at a subject, different ways of tackling it, different lines that you might be making. And the more you do this sorts of exercises, the more you have just a deeper understanding, and an understanding that also becomes native in your body, where your body just kind of knows how to do this. And you say, oh, I've got to draw this bus before it pulls away from the bus stop. I'm going to have to do it this way. And if you sat down and drew the bus and said, okay, I'm going to draw exactly every tiny bit of the bus, it would be gone. But if you could knock out that bus in 2 minutes, and then guess what? The bus stays for 5 minutes. You could take that 2-minute drawing and you could layer on more detail. What I also find, though, is when you draw quickly, it has an energy to it that is, again, the difference between doing something quickly and in a burst has a certain kind of energy, and drawing something over the long time has energy. Does that make sense?
Kim has sort of an interesting question.
Yeah.
So for the shorter drawings, are you looking at the reference photo, or are you looking at your other drawings?
That is a good question. No, I'm looking at the reference each time. I'm looking at the reference. It'd be interesting to do. You could do, I've done that kind of an exercise where you do a drawing. It's sort of like a game of telephone. You do a drawing, and then you do a drawing of the drawing, and you do a drawing of the drawing, and you keep going, and it's sort of like, gets weird and wonky. You can play that. We've done that exercise where you have a group of people, and you do that where you do a drawing, and then you pass it to the person, and they do a version of the drawing, and so forth, and you keep having everybody's drawing go around the room, and that's kind of interesting too, where you don't necessarily know the details that the person had to look at, and so you're just kind of basing it on what they did, and sometimes you're misinterpreting what they made, or they kind of did shorthand, and you're trying to figure it out. That's a lot of talking.
I was going to say, do you want to like stand up and do dangling pose or something before you go to the, is it really, it's 30 seconds? That's all you're going to have?
Yeah.
That's all you're going to give?
That's all I'm going to give.
Oof.
Are you ready? 30 seconds. So I'm going to do 30 seconds, and then, we can go back and we can kind of make this whole page kind
You're
of
going
come
to do
together.
some lettering or something?
Do some lettering. You could even take like a watercolor brush and add some color to it. You could unify them all together. In other words, you can take this drawing and use it as the foundation for a bigger piece. You don't have to stick to these rules. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Do, 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 do. Everybody's lined up on the starting blocks.
3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to start this again because my page wasn't in the correct place. So, all right, guys, don't worry.
You got 2 extra seconds, everybody.
30 seconds starting now.
Ay, ay, ay.
You know what it is, right?
I certainly do.
Yeah. The fact that it has another drawing of a motorcycle right next to it is very helpful. But yeah, so that was a different experience, right? You thought differently. What I did is I did a blind contour for most of it. I just was looking at the picture and I kind of just drew stuff. So, but I still like that. I still think it's a reasonable drawing of a motorcycle.
I think it's cool.
It's just a different energy.
In some ways, I like it better than the 2-minute one.
Yeah. That's the point I was trying to make, is it all comes out differently. So, all right. So I'm going to do a little bit of lettering now just to tie this thing together, but we could also.
You going to use the same pen?
No, I'm going to use a dip pen. So it's a Harley Davidson 1942.
What if you just say vroom, vroom?
Knucklehead. No.
Vroom, vroom.
I've got to write the whole thing. Got to.
Knucklehead.
Yeah, because you'd be a knucklehead to drive it.
I didn't want to say that. But why is it a knucklehead?
I have no idea. Look it up.
Yeah. I don't need.
I know that it's a revolutionary kind of a thing, though. Wow, this pen is not happy today. I think my ink is very...
Viscous.
Yeah, I think it's at the bottom of the jug. It needs to be reloaded, so it's very gummy. Getting a lot of weird stuffs.
It looks like puffy pen.
Yeah. I got. Oh man. This is the equivalent of driving a motorcycle without a helmet.
You're bleeding out.
Yeah. All right, I gotta get some fresh ink here. Yeah, that can happen when you get to the bottom, because I tend to, I have a big bottle of ink and I fill that little bottle, and then when it gets to the bottom, it's a lot of the stuff is evaporated off it. So you see now that I'm using a fresh thing of ink, it's not causing that same problem. So
And is it the same ink? Or totally different ink?
it's both. They're both India ink. It is a different kind of ink, though, different brand. This is Winsor Newton that I'm using now. The other kind is called Black Cat. This is not the official name of this motorcycle. It's called the EL, apparently.
That's why it's called a knuckle.
You think that's what it is? Why? Because it's EL? Knuck L? Oh, I see. Maybe that's it.
I don't know.
Google didn't have anything to say about this?
I didn't Google it.
All right, so now I'm going to label each thing. So I'm going to say this one was, maybe I'll do it in red.
I mean, this is an answer that is all gobbledygook to me. Riders nicknamed the engine the knucklehead because of the distinctive shape of the polished alloy rocker boxes atop each cylinder.
That's what I was going to say.
The knucklehead provided vastly increased horsepower and durability. It became the bedrock of Harley-Davidson engine design for the next 65 years.
Yeah. So that was 20 minutes. This was 5 minutes. This is 1 minute. No, 2 minutes. Sorry, I'm completely off camera.
Oh, I didn't notice. I was too busy knuckling head.
And this is 30 seconds.
The other definition of a knucklehead?
Yeah.
A stupid, bumbling, inept person. That's what happens after you wipe out on your motorcycle. Your brain damages.
Is that where the term knucklehead comes from this bike?
No. I don't know.
Knucklehead feels like a World War II era kind of thing. Should I say unsafe at any speed?
No.
Safe at any speed.
I think let's not.
Well, I want to reference the fact
Editorialize.
that I've drawn it at different speeds. I'm just going to say drawn at different speeds then.
Fast at any speed.
speeds. Not a very witty thing. Unsafe at any speed would have been cooler, but that's actually a reference to a car. Do you know this? That's a reference to?
No.
Ralph Nader's book about the Ford Corvair.
Oh, right. Yeah, controversial car for sure.
So, yeah, it blew up when it got rear-ended.
Oh, Twiggy's going to gulp some water.
All right, so now we've got this. So I did this on drawing paper, so I don't really want to put any wet medium on it, but you could, put a bit of wash on each one, or, do something like that. That could be cool. You could certainly make this look more colorful. So, yeah. Wow, okay. So we did it. We got through it, and it's been 58 minutes. Success.
I think...
My only concern is this thing. I'm going to have to really let this dry for a really long time.
I mean,
And
we
it
are in
probably oozed through the
Phoenix.
piece
You could just take it out on the back
for 30 seconds, yeah.
patio, and it is going to be over 100 degrees here.
Yeah.
I think maybe as soon as next week. It's time.
It's time. It's summer. All right. Wilma asks, does the class really drop at midnight tonight?
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know. I'm not
I
answering.
would just say tomorrow morning you can go
Any
for
questions people have about the class, email info@sketchbookschool.com. It's really hard to juggle everything we're doing
Yes.
and
it.
answer
You can do it
questions about
tomorrow.
the class.
You can work on it tomorrow.
But we don't know what time, so we'll find out. Email me.
Okay, well, we're done. We're done. Do you feel done?
I feel done.
All right, guys. So let's pack it up. So basically, I want to see these motorcycles
For
that
sure.
you're making. So please share them on Facebook, on Instagram, tag it, hashtag SBS Draw With Me. SBS stands for Sketchbook School.
The Postmaster was a high bar for the pre-roll
Yes,
film,
these-
so I want to see just as many
Yeah, we want to see some good
vroom
motorcycles.
vrooms.
And I have a new essay coming out tomorrow, which is about, it's about,
Your illustrated life.
no, I have an essay tomorrow, which is about how your brain works consciously and subconsciously when you're coming up with ideas and even working on drawings. And it's a subject that I've been interested in, so I've done some research and I've written a paper which I'm going to submit to the New England Medicine. No, it's an essay that I'm going to send to you if you sign up for Danny'sEssays.com. And yeah,
But if you sign up today, you won't get it.
that's not true. Oh, you'll get it. You'll get access to it. Don't worry. You'll get access to it.
Hopefully you've already signed up.
It's in the archive. Yes. What else? And yes, Illustrated Life. Sign up for it.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. And
You're gonna have FOMO
Actually,
if
Jenny,
you don't
that's
do it.
not the URL.
Awesome.
No, the URL that I put up before is the correct URL. Let me just grab it again. Sorry. Ignore that URL in the thing. And it's here, sketchbook.tiny.us/life. So, or go to sketchbookschool.com. Now that was the early bird URL we had
It's
before.
in the description,
Yeah.
so we'll fix that.
And that's it. We'll see you again next week.
Hey, thanks for being here. Today was hard, so
I enjoyed
kudos
it.
to everyone who, applied themselves to something that's challenging. It's worth doing.
Yeah, to me it was good. It was like a workout. I liked it. I feel revived and reinvigorated. And I also feel like I did at least one good drawing. So that's good. See you again next week, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.